Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video looking at work, poverty and welfare, focusing on functionalist explanations of poverty. Functionalists examine the reasons for the existence and persistence of poverty in society and focus more on cultural explanations than examining the structure of society. Whilst a structural theory, functionalism focuses more on the norms and values of subcultural groups as a reason for poverty in society. They believe that in a meritocratic society that some poverty is inevitable, as those with lower levels of skills and abilities will be unable to achieve all of society's goals. They also focus on how poverty can provide positive functions for society, that fear of poverty acts as a motivation for individuals. Furthermore, poverty provides employment through what some call the poverty industry. In this video, we're going to examine the functionalist view in a little more detail. Firstly, we'll look at how functionalists claim that cultural factors both cause and maintain poverty. Social anthropologist Oscar Lewis examined the persistence of poverty in Mexico in the 1950s and found that through his research that there existed a culture of poverty, a set of subcultural norms and values that led people to display fatalistic attitudes to the situation they were in and lack the motivation to work harder in order to achieve. People didn't believe that they could get out of poverty, and this led them to withdraw from society, suffer apathy, and lack the motivation needed in order to pull themselves out of poverty. Lewis's work was highly controversial at the time, with critics suggesting that Lewis was adopting a victim-blaming approach. Subsequent research, for example Coates and Seaburn, found that those in poverty were not different to others, but merely adopted a realistic approach to the situation they found themselves in. However, Lewis's work is mirrored in many right-wing approaches to poverty, particularly those of Murray and Marsland. Herbert Gans, a noted sociologist, argued that poverty was inevitable in a meritocratic society. Like Davis and Moore, Gans argued that society rewarded those that had the best skills and the highest motivation, and that poverty was simply a reflection of individuals not possessing these skills. Furthermore, Gans saw inequality as having a motivating factor. People would strive to work harder, obtain qualifications, and progress their careers in return for extrinsic rewards, that is, higher wages. In this sense, meritocracy would lead to inequality, much as Davis and Moore had suggested with their views of role allocation. While the meritocratic structure of society was one form of motivation for individuals, Gans saw poverty as performing another vital function. The fear of poverty acted as a motivator for people to continue to work hard. Those who were economically secure felt fortunate not to be in poverty, and this reaffirms their commitment to the norms and values of society, namely being motivated to succeed. This fear of poverty keeps the economy from becoming stagnant, as people work harder, become more innovative, and invest to ensure that they do not fall into poverty. Furthermore, providing help to those in need gives individuals a sense of satisfaction, making them feel part of their community, and this provides them with intrinsic satisfaction. This can be seen in many charity fundraisers, where individuals will gather a sense of personal satisfaction from donating time and money to worthy causes. Gans also suggested that poverty serves a third function, and that was an economic function. There are financial benefits to having people in poverty, according to Gans, as poverty provides many people with employment. Social workers, healthcare provision, and police officers are all employed to deal with the effects of poverty in society. In more contemporary times, there has been the growth of the third sector, that is, charities, that tackle social issues associated with poverty. For example, the Trussell Trust and the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, the Citizens Advice Bureau, and other poverty action groups. Whilst some rely upon volunteers, others employ individuals to raise awareness and collect donations, and these donations are given to other companies to deal with issues surrounding poverty. Furthermore, other parts of the poverty industry have emerged, with easy-to-access credit at higher rates, subprime lending, and debt collection industries profiting from those in poverty. In 2022, it is estimated that the UK debt collection industry is worth £1.7 billion a year, most of which is built upon people falling into poverty. In evaluating functionalist explanations of poverty, it's worth noting the impact of functionalism on new right ideology. Lewis's work can be seen in Murray's ideas of the existence of an underclass, and so is influential, if highly controversial. This is because it is a victim-blaming approach that fails to recognise the structural inequalities and how people are born into poverty rather than choosing it. Meanwhile, traditional Marxists and feminists argue that functionalist concepts such as role allocation and meritocracy are a myth, noting the persistence of poverty as evidence of an unequal society. Furthermore, in many industries, it is social capital rather than educational capital that is most important in progression. The old idiom, it's not what you know, but who you know that secures progress. Finally, functionalist views fail to acknowledge the social impacts of poverty and how being in a position of poverty creates barriers that many individuals will struggle to overcome. That concludes this Tutor to You Sociology topic video on work, poverty and welfare, focusing on functionalist views of poverty. Thanks for watching.